Hey everyone, I just want to quickly talk about the website development agreement. Now, obviously, you can read this in detail, in full detail on our website, but I'm just going to quickly touch on a few points. So the reason why we have this is just to basically ensure that our clients are aware of the website development process, and so that we're all working together, with a clear understanding of the scope of work and the expectations that we can have for each other. Um, so simply put, the process is broken down into four main areas. The first step would be the discussion and planning of the project. The second step will be the execution of the project plan. The third step will be the revision process, and the fourth step will be going live and online. So the first step here is just basically, the initial discussion about the project or about the website. We'll talk about things like the design, what you kind of have in mind for that, the objectives you have for your website, or, any type of creative direction that you have. It's a very, uh, informal meeting. It's just we don't need an agenda or anything like that. It can happen via telephone, email, or in person, whatever is more convenient for you. It's just important that we chat about the project details before we start the design process. The second step is the execution of the project plan. So to do this, basically, we're going to develop a draft design, and that draft design will be based on all the information that we received from you during the initial discussion of the project. And we'll also take information from the completed design questionnaire that you submitted to us. And first drafts are provided no later than 2 weeks, and a lot of times it's a lot earlier than that, but they'll never be longer than 2 weeks. The revision process. Just quickly on this now. When we send you the first draft of the design, we really want you to take some time and look it over, critique it. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and before you actually approve that, right? Because once you approve that, what we're going to do is assume that you are 100% satisfied with the design, and then we're going to start adding content, functionality, things like that. So what we want you to do is to make sure that you're 100% happy with the design before you give us the approval to go ahead and start adding different things or different elements to your website. And this is simply because we don't want to get into major revisions, after we've already started implementing content, functionality, elements, things like that, because it just is so time consuming. So we'll do the design first and work on revisions, during that design phase of things. However, once you give us the final approval on that design, we are going to start adding things, and from there, after we get that approval, we're not going to be able to implement layout changes or major revisions very easily. And as a result, if this does happen, if you do have major revisions after you've already approved the design, they will be subject to an additional cost. So just keep that in mind when you're going through the approval process for the first draft of the design. Okay, so the next step is the last step, and it's going live and online with your new website. So once we've, obviously finalized your website, we've made all the revisions, we've added the content, all the functionality, what we need to do is configure your domain so that it points to our servers. So when people go to visit your domain, your new website appears. Now, just one thing I want to really point out here is this. We do not purchase domains on behalf of our client, and there's a reason for this. And just quickly, basically, it's just so that you have the freedom to work with any design firm that you choose. So what's happened is, obviously, we've been in business for a long time, and we've worked with a lot of clients, and we've actually come across this where, our clients have worked with designers in the past, and those designers purchased their domain, and then their business relationship, was dissolved, and as a result, when the client, reached out to us, we had a real problem trying to transfer the domain and things like that. So we don't really want to put our clients in that position. Obviously, we hope that you're very happy working with us, and we'll take every step to ensure that's the case. But we don't want to hold anyone hostage with us. If you're if you want to work with someone else, that's fine. So, it's just for your own protection. So we just don't get into that. So just keep that in mind. You're responsible for purchasing the domain and also managing that. So, you'll always have to look at, things like if it's going to expire, if it's on auto renew, things like that. It's your responsibility. Okay, so the next thing here we'll just chat about here is the domain cPanel login information. So all this is basically the login information so we can access the name servers of your domain, because we'll need to actually change those name server numbers so that your domain points to our server. And this is just so that way your new website actually shows at your domain. Now, there's a lot of clients, and if you're in this same boat, don't feel bad. It's completely normal. If you don't have your login information, don't worry about it. Just let us know, and we'll actually run a Whois report on the domain, and we can get all the information for you. But you will have to contact them since you will be the owner of the domain. But we can tell you who the registrar is, and also, what the name servers are currently pointed at. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the whole process. But I just want to touch on the project execution schedule and requirements. So just really quickly, we just want to make sure that phone calls, emails, or any communication, regarding the project is addressed and discussed, in a timely fashion. This means, like if we send you, feedback or questions or, anything like that, we just want to make sure that, we get an answer in a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, we can't move forward with your project without that feedback from you. So that's why that is important. The other thing is here is that we are going to require some key things from you before we can successfully complete your project. And this includes things like your company logo and also website content. So we'll let you know what we need, whenever we actually have the first little meeting there. And then, then also you can send it to us through the website as well, actually on the Getting Started page. And also just make note of this, failure to provide the required items to us will result in a delay, right? So again, it's important for you to get us the items that we require in a timely fashion. And the approval process, the same thing goes for that. Just make sure that if it's possible, just get us approvals in an efficient, manner, basically, again, like we can't really move forward unless we have authorization from you, right? So the faster you get back to us with feedback, the better off we'll be. Another little thing here that we've run into in the past is just clients when they have busy schedules, such as vacation time or just, an increase in work or whatever the case may be. And it affects their ability to provide us with, timely approvals. And what happens is the schedule gets delayed. And the clients kind of get upset with us, but it's actually not our fault, because if we actually don't get feedback from you, then it's very hard for us to move. Well, actually, it's impossible for us to move forward in the completion, the actual website completion process, because we obviously need that feedback from you before we can move forward. So that's why it's very important for you to, get back to us in a timely fashion. And if you are having troubles getting back to us, just send us an email and let us know, oh, hey, I'm on vacation, or, I'm having a really busy time. But just keep in mind that will affect the completion date. And if we do miss, key dates or, project milestone dates, then, that's definitely not our fault. So we just need to always keep that in mind. Meetings. So, it's understandable that clients may want to meet with us regarding projects throughout the execution process, and that's fine. So meetings can be conducted in person or on the phone or even via online video conference. All meetings after the initial discussion meeting will be billed to the client at a rate of $95 per hour. Meetings must be scheduled at least 48 hours in advance, and if anyone is running late, we just expect a courtesy call to be made. Just tell us, how long you're going to be, and we'll obviously do the same for you. The other thing is too, canceled meetings. We understand things come up, and that's fine. If you have to cancel one of our meetings, we completely understand. We just ask that you do so, you give us at least 1 hour's notice before the meeting, just so we're not, sitting there waiting for you. Business manners and etiquette. I just really want to touch on this. This is something that's truly important to me. Obviously we've been in business for a long time, and most of our clients have been amazing, and I've actually become friends with most of my clients. They're just great. We've got a wonderful working relationship, and I couldn't be happier. However, in the rare cases, there have been difficult clients, and It's very challenging and a little disheartening at times. So this is why it's very important for me just to kind of quickly touch on this. So when we're working together on projects, it's very important to me that you're 100% professional at all times with myself and also my staff. Um, we just want to make sure that everyone's getting along, and like we understand that sometimes there's some stressful moments throughout this process, but just always kind of keep that in check. Just keep your temper in check and things like that, and just make sure you treat everyone with respect. And we'll obviously do the same for you. We do have a zero tolerance policy for disrespectful clients. We actually have the right to refuse work from that client. Any client that is, exhibiting this type of disrespectful behavior. And, this actually is applicable in cases where maybe we're over 50% into the actual development process. Um, Basically, this is just because we don't want to, if there's any type of issue or, disrespect going on, it's probably best that we do dissolve our business relationship. That's not an enjoyable situation for either of us to be in. So, and the type of inappropriate behavior that I am referring to would include aggression, rude comments, yelling, and demanding work to be completed in an unrealistic time frame. And also, clients must respect, our hours of operation. Meetings or discussion outside of standard working hours, which are Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time, will not be permitted. Um, Now, the last thing here is just payment. So what we ask is actually that all projects, before we start, we require 50% of the project total before we start, and it's a non-refundable deposit. And the non-refundable deposit will be deducted from your final bill. So it's not like we're keeping it and whatever. It's actually deducted from your final bill. Um, and final payment for the remainder of the work is expected by no later than 30 days after the project completion date. Now, in the rare case where a project is terminated prematurely, this deposit would still be non-refundable. Okay, so that's basically it. If I could just get you to type your name here and your email address and also the date, that basically uh, tells me that you've read this and that you agree to everything, and then you'll hit submit and we'll actually be emailed your signed copy, and that means we can get started on your project. So once again, thank you very much for choosing to work with us. We are very excited to have you as a new client, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come. Thank you.